10 best revenge films ever. At least top 10 that I love. Now, we're not doing one-man army revenge films, mind you. We're doing revenge plot films. Some of these are going to be very different from the crazy action fun that we usually come across. And some of them will be very similar to the John Wick franchise. You might even see John Wick in here. Like Blue Ruin. It is a very slow burn about an ominous piece of news that sends a drifter played by Macon Blair back to his hometown to exact brutal and inept revenge for the deaths of his parents. This is directed by Jeremy Saulnier, who did most recently Netflix's Rebel Ridge and Green Room, one of my favorite movies. It's an independent film that does have some really cool action scenes, but you're not going to get a quarter amount of action scenes that you do with John Wick's. But I wanted to include it in the list to highlight how great revenge films can be and how greatly they can be executed with an independent budget. So you can check it out for yourself on Tubi. If you want to see something with a little more dialogue that has more of a suspenseful twist, but not really action, check out Hard Candy with Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson. Haley's a smart, charming teenage girl. Jeff's a handsome, smooth fashion photographer. An internet chat, a coffee shop meetup, an impromptu fashion shoot back at Jeff's place. Jeff thinks it's his lucky night. He's in for a surprise. I can't really tell you what the movie's about because it's full of twists and turns, but this is one of my favorite posters. I'll highlight words. Haley's a smart, charming teenage girl. Jeff's a handsome, smooth fashion photographer. An internet chat. Jeff's place. Jeff thinks it's his lucky night. Teenage girl. Fashion photographer. Ellen Page. Patrick Wilson. Age difference. He's in for a surprise. Check out the movie. I think it's very, very well made. It's like a play, and it isn't an action, but it's more suspense, more fast-paced than Blue Ruin, even though it only has 2 actors in the entire film, Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson. Oh, and a scene with Sandra Oh. But I don't think I knew about either of the actors when I first watched this film, but I was very surprised I didn't because of how well the acting was. And look at them now. You can check this out on Xumo Play. That's Xumo. I think it's a free app. This was directed by David Slade, who did episodes of Black Mirror, American Gods, Hannibal, Breaking Bad, and also the film 30 Days of Night. It is not an action film, but is an excellent revenge film. It's very underrated. Sicario is the 8th best revenge film of this list. If you haven't seen it before, it's with Benicio del Toro from Emily Blunt's perspective, co-starring Josh Brolin, Daniel Kaluuya, and John Barenthal, about an idealistic FBI agent who's enlisted by a government task force to aid in the escalating war against drugs at the border area between the U.S. and Mexico. Way more action-y than the previously mentioned films, but still sort of a slow burn that's interrupted with bouts of surprising action. And it's also written by Taylor Sheridan, who wrote the Yellowstone universe, Tulsa King, and Lioness. It's also directed by one of the greatest directors of our time, Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049, The Dunes, Arrival, and Prisoners. You can check out both films on Netflix right now, but the one that I'm saying is the best revenge film is Sicario, the first one. You're going to get a little more action in the second one. It took me a few years to watch the second one because I was like, it's no way it's going to be as good as the first. But if you like the first film, check out the second. You won't get Emily Blunt, but you will get a solid sequel that definitely makes you wish that they make a third one. And apparently everyone's on board, including Emily Blunt, but you meet new characters that you want all to meet in a third film. Hopefully it does happen. The 7th best revenge film is not one film, but quite a few. And that is the John Wicks, of course. The whole saga is full of fun with great action and some of the best I've ever seen. It really leans into the fun and ridiculousness in both action and story, and I think Ballerina and the Continental storylines took themselves a bit too seriously compared to the main films of John Wick. But I must note that Chapter 4 may be my favorite action film of all time behind the Raid films. Nothing gets better in a revenge story than "they killed my dog." And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm back. I fucked up that line. Everyone's been asking me if I'm back. And yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. You can check out the entire series on Peacock right now, besides Ballerina, which is in theaters right now. Django Unchained which is, of course, about, with the help of German bounty hunter, played by Christoph Waltz, a freed slave, played by Jamie Foxx, sets out to rescue his wife from a brutal plantation owner in Mississippi, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and the wife is played by Kerry Washington, and he also got Samuel L. Jackson playing a real bastard. This is fun from front to back. It's a great Tarantino film filled with great dialogue and action, and Django is certainly a badass. The Tupac scene is one of my favorite scenes of all time. You can rent this film for a couple bucks if you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen it yet, have you been living under a rock? Because that's fucking crazy. This movie's great. It's dope. If you love Tarantino, you'll love the film. We're going to take a little bit of a step back for our fifth film, which does have some suspenseful scenes, but it's definitely more of an artsy film, and that is Memento. Memento is about a former insurance investigator who now suffers from anterograde amnesia. I've never seen that word before. He suffers from amnesia and uses notes and tattoos to hunt down his wife's murderer. Played by Guy Pearce, who also stars Carrie-Anne Moss and Joe Pantoliano. Christopher Nolan. It's one of his best films. If you don't know Christopher Nolan, you've also been living under a rock. He did Interstellar, he did The Dark Knights, he did The Prestige, and he did Inception. Excellent mindfuck film that I recommend to everyone. It keeps you on your toes and has an excellent rewatch sustainability because you notice and understand more things because it's a mind-fucking film. Just know that the black and white scenes happen forward and the main colorized scenes are backward, meaning the film is basically backwards, leading to a culmination of him finding his wife's killer and proving that obsession for revenge transcends memory. So well made. Probably the best Christopher Nolan movie that you'll ever watch. You can be the judge yourself by checking it out on Tubi, Pluto, or Peacock. Going to number 4, a little more action, definitely more epic, and definitely a bigger cast, is Gangs of New York, where in 1862, Amsterdam Valen, I don't know what that word is, returns to the, oh, his name's Valen. Valen? I'm trying to think of Daniel Day-Lewis saying it. You're back in Amsterdam, Valen. Oh, no, his name's Amsterdam. Right. It's been a while since I just watched the movie. Amsterdam returns to the 5 Points area of New York City, seeking revenge against Bill the Butcher, his father's killer. Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Cameron Diaz stars in this awesome Martin Scorsese epic that's way bigger in scope compared to the rest of the films that I mentioned, with probably the best acting from anywhere else on this list and probably the most fulfilling film of the list as well. It's extremely long, but it is amazing. I've probably seen this movie so many more times than any other movie on this list. If you love Scorsese and you hadn't watched this film, shut me off. If you do love Scorsese and you have seen it, you probably agree that this is one of his best films. Super, super dope. Daniel Day-Lewis is one of my favorite actors in it. I feel like I'm doing Robert De Niro. I promise I did a decent Daniel Day-Lewis, and I kind of want to be Billy the Butcher for Halloween now. Mel Gibson in Payback. After a successful heist, Porter is left for dead. Once he recovers, he seeks vengeance, and he wants his share of the money. Mel Gibson, Maria Bello, and awesome Lucy Liu in the one film that's most up my alley. That film noir-y, gruff voice and guns with lots of dark comedy fun. Like Ballerina, this film went through lots of reshoots with a different director, and in my opinion, I prefer the theatrical cut of this one as opposed to the directorial cut called Payback Straight Up. So you may come across Payback Straight Up, which is the original version of the film. If you're going to watch that, wait till you watch the regular version because it's much more fun and just better. Hubba, hubba, hubba. If you know, you know. You can check this one out on Tubi, Pluto, Plex, Peacock, or Prime. Is technically one film, but you can only see it in 2 parts, Volume 1 and 2. Kill Bill. The bride must kill her ex-boss and lover, Bill, who betrayed her at her wedding rehearsal, shot her in the head, and took away her new... I'm not gonna say that last part. That shouldn't be in this plot synopsis because that's a surprise, so I'm not gonna say it. But first, she must make the other 4 members of the Deadly Viper assassin squad suffer. Wow, my lisp really showed up there. If you haven't seen the Kill Bills, go watch the Kill Bills. They're fucking striking as hell. Starring Uma Thurman, Lucy Liu, Vivica A. Fox, Michael Madsen, Daryl Hannah, and David Carradine. I'm including both Volume 1 and 2 as the second best revenge films. For one, they are one movie. At the time, I preferred the second volume over the first, but looking back now, I don't know how I can love something more than the first. They're both striking, badass, stylistic, violent, fun, witty, all that jazz. Apparently, there is a Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair cut of the film. This was Tarantino's original cut and intention to release in theaters. It would have been 4 hours long and has only been shown at select screenings. There are fan versions online, but The Whole Bloody Affair is unavailable to own. If I hear about one screening of this, I'm definitely going to check it out. For volume 1 and 2, you can go to YouTube Premium or rent it. If you don't own it, that's crazy. These movies are fantastic. Little story. The first time I did mushrooms, I was having a very bad trip and my friend put on Kill Bill 1 and it calmed me down. So if you need to calm down, turn on Kill Bill Volume 1, specifically at the Crazy 88 scene. But in my opinion, the best revenge film of all time is Chan-wook Park's Old Boy. After being kidnapped and imprisoned for 15 years, Odaisu is released, only to find that he must track down his captor in 5 days. Chan-wook Park did The Handmaiden, Decision to Leave, Thirst, one of the best vampire movies of all time, if not the best vampire film, and the whole Vengeance trilogy, which includes Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance. None of them are connected in plot, only by theme. This is one of the craziest films you'll ever see if you can finish it. It's got drama, it's got comedy, it's got some of the best and most prolific action ever, because it actually started that whole hallway fight tracking shot thing. A lot of people I recommend this movie to become too distracted or too disconnected to get more than 20 minutes in. I think it's because it's not American made, but it is absolutely worth the ride. One of the best endings ever. Check this out on Paramount Plus and check out Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Lady Vengeance on Tubi. But watch this first just to see if you'll like the rest. If there's any I missed, make sure you comment and let me know if I'm wrong about any of these. But I am pretty sure that I'm right all the time.